Hi, accordioncafe here, continuing with the Evinrude 4 horsepower. This is the fifth part 5 of the strip down. It's of this 1993 Evinrude. We're just getting the air cleaner off the carburetor here, taking out the choke and fuel on off knob. These just bit of gentle persuasion, little pulling on the connection there, that'll soon come free. Just like that, and it should be off. There we are. The individual parts on this motor, in the next set of videos, be looking at the individual parts, such as the carburetor, the little tiny gearbox on the bottom of the leg, the impeller, and doing a more detailed strip down. But for now we're just going down to the block with this. Just going to remove the carburetor now. The only thing you need for this is a 7/16 spanner. Would have been better to remove the pipes first actually, and the wiring, like I am doing now. This goes from the coil on the next to the flywheel, what generates the first stage in the generation of your spark plug. Thought I'd pause a little bit on this part to show the where all various pipes go, from the petrol tank, the carburetor to the pump, and the vacuum pipe on the crankcase there, and that's the fuel intake to the filter there, and that's the pump filter and pump combined. That little block to the left there, which will take off in a moment. As I've said before, this motor was given to me, so there's a lot to do to it, but not to look a gift horse in the mouth. I thought it would be a good project to strip down, just cutting through the little cable clips. They don't use Jubilee clips anymore, do they? It's a lot easier using these plastic cable ties, I think. I always wonder if you can manage to get the tension though to actually tighten up on them pipes. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? I think they rely on the thickness of the pipe, trying to get past the edge of the end of the union there. It can't stretch the plastic clip, can it? So I guess it must do a good job, otherwise I wouldn't use them. This pipe here's got an inline filter there by the looks of it. So I'll have a look. It can't be anything else, so it must be an inline filter, I think. I'm not cutting through the pipe there. It looks like I am, doesn't it? But I'm not. I'm just trying to get a bit of leverage in the jaws of those side cutters to pull the pipe off without putting any stress on the union itself. These plastic things, honestly, they break so easily. If you pull them sideways at all, they'll snap off. I did that on a brand new car radiator once. Didn't do it again. Just get that nut off there. And lovely little easy engines to work on there. Now all these nuts are all on the old imperial sizes. The metric spanners are not. Well, you can use them, but they're not the right size. You need a metric set of spanners, which I suppose we've all got anyway. And off comes the carburettor. You can see the little wheel there, that black cylinder, and that's the throttle, and that works off the advance and retard plate underneath the flywheel, and that's pushed by the plate as when you twist the twist grip on the tiller, so the plate turns and it then pushes more on that wheel, opening the throttle. That thing you can see there, the little disc with the holes in the middle of it inside the carburettor there, and that's what should we call it, the Ventura. That's the choke, and that choke there works off the black plastic knob. That's your throttle there. You see how that works when we look inside it from the cylinder side. You can see that that's how your throttle works anyway. And then we come round to the part you can see when you take the air cleaner off. There's the choke mechanism. We'll strip that down later anyway and check it for mucking the float chamber and the jets and everything. But we'll do that a bit later. That gasket there, that black rubber gasket, that'll have to be replaced. I like to put the nuts back on studs which are sticking out to save them getting damaged, you know. Put a bit of squirt of penetrating oil on them. Won't do it any harm. Now, I paused on these pipes a bit in case anyone's wondering where certain pipes go, and now we're taking off the this is the first stop for the fuel here. Goes through a wire gauze, and this fuel pump works on a rubber what do you call them, membrane diaphragm, and it pulls the fuel through. It looks a bit mucky, as you can see. You can see the wire gauze there anyway. That's like the first filter stop anyway on the fuel tank. Need to give that a bit of a clean up. And then the rest of that assembly has to just be unscrewed and come off. The screws are a bit tight on that actually. 3 of them came out all right, but one of them, the bottom one of those 4 screws was really difficult to get out. Just putting a mark on the plate there, as I wasn't quite sure about the positioning when you reassemble it, whether it's got to go back in that precise position for the pump to work. But I don't think it has to go back in that position, but I didn't want to take any chances. There's many different ideas on these things. It's better to be safe than sorry, you know. Yeah, that was that difficult screw. Let's put a lot of pressure on that to get that bugger out. But I don't think this engine's ever been taken apart actually, because the amount of you know, the corrosion or oxidation, whatever you want to call it, inside there was, you know, a hell of a lot. And every part I worked on this engine, and it's one of the things, an auxiliary motor, you know, I mean, if your main engine packs up, this is the thing that's going to save the day. So there we are. I like to keep my auxiliary up and running and give it plenty of startups throughout the season, make sure it's not going to let me down. It's always a lot easier to repair a motor on land than it is on the boat. And there we are. So we'll get around to doing that piece in more detail in the next videos. And there we are. There's the well, there's a lot of muck inside that bit there. That's all got to be cleaned out anyway. Just screw that back together, keep it in one piece so we don't lose any parts to it. And there's the pipe that fits onto it. That's the fuel inlet pipe to the filter and the pump. And there's the diaphragm, what actually pumps the fuel to the carburetor from the main tank through the gauze filter first. We'll work on these parts individually in a later video. And here's the flywheel. If you put the nut on, when you've took the nut off, don't take it all the way off, and then you can if you hold the flywheel and lift it slightly, then give it a good belt on the nut to protect the threads. The flywheel should come loose with a couple of good blows on that. And that's all for now, so the next part will be part 6. Hope to see you then. Bye bye for now.